Now my plan is to debunk all of these myths. All you government sympathizers to supply the critics with your stupidity, dimwits. I'm blowing the lid now, I'm taking it nice and so you can follow. The axe is granted, can be hard to swallow. It's a factual discussion about a heinous crime committed by the free world, turning against mine. So I'll start with some names, corporation, and lies. This is the first installment. First words heard, no stalling. Focus on the North Tower, hocus pocus. Tenants remember the credits are spreading. Marsh and McLennan, the 99 through 94 forward, where the planes hit upgraded rooms shortly before. Fireproof it, don't make me laugh, you whores. Marshon, Guy Carpenter, floors 47 through 54. Let's talk about Jeffrey Greenberg, chief exec of Marsh, the leader and member, believer of Brookings Institute Trilateral Commission, a son of chairman of American International Group. He's obviously on a mission. He made some friends at Brookings. Lee Hamilton, co-chair of 9/11 Commission, and Namir Amin Kadeh, terrorist funny bitch, and no way, yes way. Now you start to wait. Okay, Stephen Freeman, you're not getting away. Senior principal at Marsh and Bush's economic bitch by that advisor, and I'm not afraid to make the connections of groups that you're with. Let's try Brookings, Bilderberg, and In-Q-Tel. Can't you tell the name nanothermite weapons are made? I repeat, In-Q-Tel nano weapons are made. Also Quill and Dagger with your buddy Wolfowitz. Paul, look them up, this'll be on the quiz. Can someone say Secretary of Defense? Offense, this is intense. Suspense. Craig Stapleton, president of Marsh Real Estate. He staked his claim on any office's name. Will forever be defamed in the minds of the trained. Our trust is betrayed by those who hate the loving, accept the war like the husband of Bush's cousin. Strange. Now it's L. Paul Bremer. Tremors in your body now as we begin this endeavor. CEO of Marsh Crisis, but the story gets thicker. Working to complete the national report for terrorism, while having close ties with the BCCI. The state terrorist funding bankers Kurday Assamaz, and close eyes as he funded the company that supplies fireproof for skyscrapers. And your question is why? As he's given a job as the governor of Iraq occupation, your girl's crying comforter. And ties the Bush's family through Komatsu, a company developing thermitic technology. And that was just a section of North. Follow me to the south, occupied by men who stood side by side, including the critical zones. Tell you I'll try. 77 and 8 was simply baseline. 9 through 82, Fuji Bank. Surprise, you will be AON Corp was 83's franchise. Baseline was led by Joseph Caspates, connected to the government officials, bitch please, as well as the defense and intel industries. He worked for DOC and D, connected to the oil embargo and DOE, who began developing thermitic ignition technology labs, connected to whom created thermite in the 90s. Members of LMI, another one was Kamansky of In-Q-Tel. Surprised? Another member was Michael Daniels of SAIC. Thermite technology was their expertise, and Daniels played a large role in the whole NIST WTC investigation and subsequent bullshit. But I'm not done with Caspates, did other things. He was the CEO of Prima, connected to Boeing, specifically TIMCO, which modified Boeing's at his whim. If you don't follow now, hit repeat, don't skim. Owned Analytic Sciences Corp, a company that provided intel security and contracts for DOE. Baseline modified the space to find the plane will find, and modified the rest of the floors of time. Moving to floor 79 through 82. They modified the core support to floor 82 and the east wall of floor 80, baby. Maybe even planted heinous military grade agents, along with the placement of more on the floor 82. I pray for you, it's the painful truth. These floors are owned by Fuji Bank, who then merged with Daiichi to take up more space. The new Mizuho Holdings Zone 48 through 50 of North Tower brain power brought this insane hour. Toru Hashimoto was the chairman of Fuji, was with Deutsche Securities Limited Tokyo branch. Easy for him to transfer to Deutsche Bank using inside information on 9/11 trading. Now he works with Norman Augustine, the CEO of Lockheed Martin. Trust me, he founded In-Q-Tel, Buster, and of Riggs National, a board member, a banking firm owned by Jonathan Bush, which was investigated for 9/11 push, and money under tables for terrorists. AON Corp was on floor 83. General Richard Myers, coincidence was that he On 9/11 defense was his responsibility. Now he's on AON Corp directing. Fly right please, not a good pun, but Jim Pierce was thinking that on 9/11 director manager Mrs. Fawn survived the people in the meeting, survivors won, cause there was a meeting location change, and on till you see his importance you're stunned, because he just so happens to be Bush's cousin. AON modified floor 83 where it just so happened to be the part where the most explosive crash came thundering. The rest of 83 was owned by True Trust. The trust portion of DKB explain I must. Daiichi Keiko Bank, and before it merged that was and is ultimately connected to the tech hurting us. 491 a South Tower, Washington Group. A Raytheon DOE contractor since 42. In 95, William Clark became chairman, gun please. A member of Center for Security Policy. Other members included neocons like Augustine, AQTEL, any bells it rings, along with Richard Pearl, Elliot Adams, and Doug Lee, and John Lehman of the 9/11 Commission team. Raytheon acquired WGESC, who provided management to DOD and E, the president of which was E. Preston Rahim, promoted to Washington Group's exec. Vice President of Business Development, he then formed a company with General Johnny Gordon set up as Bush Senior Director for Defense Policy on the National Security Council. Follow me. Washington was also in charge of companies who played a large role in developing the enveloping tech that filleted the structure of the towers causing death that day, namely the Savannah River Group and LLNL contained. So Exco, a company of oil and gas, garment in the capital, funny from the parents he passed, located on 25 and 26 of North, 55 and South in a critical port, but hit the floor or be floored. Officers of Exco, associates and whores of Enron, Anadarko Petroleum, and others heard. Anadarko is owned by a Bush friend. They have close ties with Robert Allison, man. Dick Cheney, Robert Allison, and Enron comprised an energy task force in 2001. Moving on to Oppenheimer and Co. South Tower throw a stone, hit 31 and 34. Stephen Bremer in Oppenheimer leadership was on board of Justice Industries. Sounds to me like Bush Dynasty shit. Connected to Akerson of Carlyle Group closely, and Alex Mandel of NQTEL. Oppenheimer invested in Hollinger International. Board members included James R. Thompson, the 9/11 Commissioner, Henry Kissinger, and Richard Pearl. To track the influence, find where the money goes in. Also invested in Robert Allison's Petroleum, along with DKB's subsidiaries, including CIT on the board is sitting. 9/11 Commissioner Thomas Keane, same song. They were also fined for bringing books that and wrong. This is more than circumstantial evidence, created a lie and back criminal entrance and subliminal pestilence, clear by the rest of this. Soon you'll attest to this part of the censorship. This is part 1 of Demolition Access of 9/11. Tune in.